Hola Year 7, welcome to Lesson 9 of the spring term. Today you're looking at ER verbs with Miss Clinton. Enjoy! And here's the list of the equipment you need to get ready before you start your lesson. You will need your Spanish exercise book, a pen and a ruler, plus a different coloured pen or a highlighter in order to highlight verb endings and also to make correction to your work. Also, there's a sentence builder grid on slide 4 which is attached on class charts. Now, only if you do have a printer and this is easy for you to do so, you could print this off before the lesson as it will help you all the way through. If you can't, don't worry about it. Pause to get this ready now. Press play when you're ready to move on. Well done, Year 7. Thank you for uploading all your work onto class charts so far. So you should have had feedback from your previous 2 weeks of learning from me. Please remember going forward to upload evidence of all of your completed work because I need to be able to mark it and I need to be able to read it. I need to also be able to see your Quizlet scores in order to give you a very well-deserved achievement point. It's really important to remember that you must stick to the time scale that is given to you at the top of each of the different slides. If you can't finish the activity, don't worry, move on to the next one. I want you to do a range of activities with Miss Clinton so that you really get to know the Spanish well and you see it in different forms of activity. Don't get stuck and don't just stick to one activity. Move on after each of the times indicated. That will make your lesson far more enjoyable for you as well and you'll learn more. If you do have any questions about the activities in today's lesson, then please email me and here's my email address. Right, Year 7, I would like you to copy down the date and this can be found on class charts in Spanish. You must write it in Spanish for me. Write down the title then in Spanish and English, so ER, so ER verbs is what you're doing. ER verbos en el presente is your title in Spanish, so copy that down in Spanish and English. Underline your date and title neatly and then write down your objetivo, to learn the full paradigm of ER verbs in the present tense. Pause to do that now. Press play when you're ready to move to your do now. Good job. Right, your do now should take up to 10 minutes. If you do it quicker, then great. If it takes 10 minutes, that's the time indicated, so that's fine. I want you to copy and complete the table below, conjugating the verb hablar, to talk, in the present tense. Okay, you had this last lesson with Miss Clinton. So here's the table. Here's the verb hablar, to talk. And she's got the 6 different parts of to talk on there. And she's very kindly given you the you plural talk, the vosotros habláis form. Now she has also put in bold the endings, the ice in as an ending, so you could highlight that as you go along to show the different endings of hablar. Pause to do that now. Press play when you're ready to check your answers. Now let's look at those answers. I talk is hablo, and the O should be highlighted here, just like Miss Clinton has. You singular talk is hablas, so highlight the AS. He or she talks, habla, highlight the A. We talk, hablamos, highlight the amos. The you talk plural, the vosotros form is habláis, so highlight the A with the accent, I and S. And then finally they talk is hablan, so highlight the AN there for me. Great job. I look forward to seeing your work after the lesson. Please upload it within 24 hours to get an achievement point. Gracias. Adios.
Hola Year 7, here's your sentence builder for today. As always, we'll be doing pronunciation practice first of all. So you'll notice here we're still answering the same question as we've been looking at the last couple of lessons. ¿Qué te gusta hacer en tu tiempo libre? What do you like to do in your free time? So we start off, remember the days of the week. We then need to obviously use the subject pronoun, so who is doing the action? And then, of course, we're using the actions in the present tense. But you'll notice today they're different verbs because our focus is on ER verbs and not AR verbs. More about that in a moment. Of course, then you have your connective, followed by your opinion, and then remember after your opinion you always need the infinitive. Okay, so we've practiced days of the week lots. Okay, so we'll jump straight to subject pronouns. We've got a few new ones. Just to remind you, remember in Spanish, if they've got a bracket round, it's there really for you just to see how the grammar works. And in English, of course, we use the subject pronoun. We always have to say I because our verb endings don't change. But in Spanish, remember, we can identify who is doing the action and when the action is happening by our verb endings. So let's go straight to practicing mi amigo, mi amiga. So remember, if your friend is male, it'll end in an O, whereas if they're female, ending in an A. Next, mi hermano. And remember to not pronounce your H's, they're always silent. Mi hermana. So again, just like we saw with friend, of course, brother ends in an O because he's male, and your sister ends in an A because she's female. So again, nosotros, we don't actually need to say, so it's in brackets. So let's start with this one. Mis amigos y yo. Mis amigos. Mis amigas. Muy bien. So let's go to the third column now and practice our present tense verbs for today. You'll notice there are fewer ER verbs than the list that we saw over the last couple of lessons for AR verbs. And that's because, remember, AR verbs are much more common. So today we're just going to focus on these three, but look at, of course, using them with different conjugations. So notice for the first box, of course, when it's I'm doing the action, they all end in an O. So after me, please. Leo libros. Hago mis deberes. Veo películas. So next row, you'll notice this is, of course, third person singular. So saying he or she, if we're talking about a friend or a brother, father, mother, etc. These are a bit more tricky to pronounce, so pay really close attention to the verb endings. Notice that they all end in an E. So repeat after me. Lee libros. Hace sus deberes. Ve películas. Muy bien. So hopefully remember to pronounce your V like a B, remember. And here, of course, hace sus deberes, remember that C sounding like a TH as well. So when we look on to our first person plurals, so we're looking at the we form, nosotros, note that they all now end in hemos. So again, please repeat after me. Leemos libros. Hacemos nuestros deberes. Vemos películas. Okay, and note each time that películas has that accent on the I, so you're really putting emphasis there each time. Películas. Muy bien. And lastly, the last row here, so we were using the third person plural, saying the they, ellos or ellas form. So note that these ones all end in N. Repeat after me. Leen libros. Hacen sus deberes. Ven películas. Fantastico. Then we have our connectives and followed by opinions. We don't need to practice these because we've been practicing those lots and lots over the last few lessons. So let's go to our infinitive structure. Note that these all end in an ER, okay, because they're all ER verbs. So again, repeat after me. Leer libros. Hacer mis deberes. Ver películas. Fantástico. Okay, yes, so we're now going to play Intruder. Remember, I will say the Spanish sentence twice, but there will be, I'm going to say one word, which will be the verb in the present tense, in English. So there's our Intruder. You therefore need to write the whole sentence in Spanish, so you'll need to translate the word that I've said aloud in English as well. Let's have a go. Remember, you can pause your video after each sentence if you need more time to write the sentence out in full. Número 1. Los fines de semana I watch películas porque me encanta ver películas. Los fines de semana I watch películas porque me encanta ver películas. Número 2. Los viernes mis amigos do sus deberes, pero no me gusta hacer mis deberes. Los viernes mis amigos do sus deberes, pero no me gusta hacer mis deberes. 3. Los lunes mis amigos y yo read libros porque me gusta leer libros. 3. Los lunes mis amigos y yo read libros porque me gusta leer libros. 4. Los martes mi amigo reads libros, pero odio leer libros. 4. Los martes mi amigo reads libros, pero odio leer libros. Pause your video if you need more time to write. So let's check through your answers. Remember to pause the video if you need to make any changes. 1. Los fines de semana veo películas porque me encanta ver películas. So here, the intruder word, of course, you'll notice each time will be highlighted in red. So you were translating that into Spanish. So you should have written veo here. Make sure, please, and add them if you didn't already, your accents to the I's in películas. 2. Los viernes mis amigos hacen sus deberes, pero no me gusta hacer mis deberes. Notice your intruder word was the word they do for, and therefore you should have written hacen. Número 3. Los lunes mis amigos y yo leemos libros porque me gusta leer libros. Again, note here that was your intruder word, so you should have written the we form of leer, which is leemos. And finally, 4. Número 4. Los martes mi amigo lee libros, pero odio leer libros. So you needed a third person singular here, the he form, he reads. Pause your video if you need to make any changes. Okay, so on to faulty echo now. I'm going to say the sentences in Spanish, okay? The first time I say them, I'll say it correctly. The second time I say it, remember, I'll mispronounce one word. I would like you to write the whole sentence out in Spanish, okay? And I'd like you to highlight the word that I mispronounced, okay? So you might underline the word or circle the word that I mispronounced if you don't have a highlighter or a different coloured pen. I'll repeat each phrase. As I said, the first time will be correct, the second time will be with one mispronounced word. So let's get started. Los miércoles mi hermano ve películas, pero no me gusta ver películas. So again, this time with one word mispronounced, and just highlight the word I mispronounced in the sentence you're writing. Los miércoles mi hermano ve películas, pero no me gusta ver películas. Número 2. Los jueves mis amigos y yo hacemos nuestros deberes porque me gusta hacer mis deberes. So number 2 again, this time with your mispronounced word that you'll be highlighting. Los jueves mis amigos y yo hacemos nuestros deberes porque me gusta hacer mis deberes. Número 3. Los lunes leo libros porque me encanta leer libros. And now with one word mispronounced. Los lunes leo libros porque me encanta leer libros. Número 4. Los martes mis amigas leen libros, pero no me gusta leer libros. Número 4 again. Remember with one word mispronounced. Los martes mis amigas leen libros, pero no me gusta leer libros. Pause your video if you need more time to write. Let's go through your answers then. Número 1. Los miércoles mi hermano ve películas, pero no me gusta ver películas. So you'll notice again I've highlighted in red the words which are mispronounced, which you should have either highlighted or underlined, circled as well. Número 2. Los jueves mis amigos y yo hacemos nuestros deberes porque me gusta hacer mis deberes. Again, I mispronounced the word here, hacemos. Remember your C sounds like a th, a th. Número 3. Los lunes leo libros porque me encanta leer libros. So I said Leo, I should have said leo. Okay, so more of that, the different vowel sound for the e there. And finally, number 4. Los martes mis amigas leen libros, pero no me gusta leer libros. So again, I mispronounced my verb. So pause your video if you want to make any other changes. I'd now like you, Year 7, to translate the sentences below into English. You've already written the Spanish, so you now just need to write the English. Pause your video now. Let's go through your answers. Número 1. There you go. 2, 3, and 4. Just make sure as well, Year 7, pay particular attention to your subject pronoun, so who is doing the action, and the verb. Okay, so in each one, it's different person, it's different conjugation, and therefore just double check that those are all correct. Pause your video now if you need to make any other changes. Okay, and moving on, a bit harder now, I'd like you to translate the sentences into Spanish. This time, however, I would like you to write both the Spanish and the English. So, if you need to, remember you can always refer to your sentence builder attached onto class charts. But try and do it without. Pause your video now. So let's go through your answers. Número 1. Los fines de semana mis amigos ven películas, pero no me gusta ver películas. And I'd like you to pay particular attention to the verbs that I've underlined and put in bold because, of course, they have to match who is doing the action. In this case, mis amigos, because it's a group of male friends. It might also be a mixed group as well, remember, if you use the masculine plural form. Número 2. Los miércoles hago mis deberes porque me gusta hacer mis deberes. Here we wanted to choose the first person singular because we wanted to say I do my homework. Number 3. Los jueves mis amigos y yo vemos las películas porque me encanta ver películas. Number 4. Los martes mi hermana lee libros, pero odio leer libros. Here we were saying my sister, mi hermana, so we wanted the third person singular, the he, she, or él or ella form. So please pause your video if you need to make any changes.
Great work today, Year 7. Now please upload a clear photo of all of your classwork from today's lesson onto class charts for a very well-deserved achievement point. Gracias. Adios.